Greetings, everybody. This is Leviathan, and I am here mere days after PAX East 2017 has come and gone. If you guys aren't familiar, this is a convention that comes to the Boston area once a year. It's very huge for us East Coasters, and it's a 3-day event. Normally, Blizzard has a very large presence there, and it's pretty exciting. But this year, they actually only were selling merch inside the convention, but what's more important is what was happening outside the convention for all of us Diablo fans, and I am super honored and pumped to present you with the first time look at the female Necromancer and count them, 5 brand new skills that the developers were working on. Yes, that's right, at this event, we were able to talk with some of the developers. We had Robert Foote and we also had Matthew Berger on the scene. They gave us a rundown of what they've been working on since we last talked to them about the Necromancer, mainly all about the female Necromancer this time, and they also showed us some of the skills that they've been working on as well too. After that, we got to do a playthrough on the new build utilizing the skills, and then we got to do a Q&A session after that, talking about some first-hand feedback on what we thought about the build, and also in general questions that we might have been having and haven't had answered recently. So if you want to take a look on screen here, these are some of the armor sets that we were able to see with the artwork that they presented. In that very last one that you just saw, the offhand of the Necromancer has been revealed, so that's called a phylactery, and inside of that is that blue liquid which represents essence. That's one of the resources that the Necromancer will use to pull off their most lavish skills. That is the primary resource for Necromancers. Of course, the other ones that we're thinking of are corpses that they'll generate when they kill enemies. And also now, especially on display with this particular build that they gave us, are skills that utilize your health. Because the Necromancer is a controller of death and life, you can use your own health to do crazy attacks, such as Blood Nova, which I'm sure a lot of people are super stoked to see, and we'll be jumping into some animations of the skills in just a second. But as you can look through some of the displays here that are rotating, these are just some different armor pieces. Who knows if they're just tiers of armor. You can see the one-handed scythe and the shield, so you have those options. There will be two-handed scythes, which was confirmed previously and also at the event over the weekend. And maybe, who knows, these could even be like sets. What might be the look for sets in the future. There were no detailed information on what sets could actually do because they don't have all the skills and runes and passives and stuff done just yet, but hopefully in the near future we'll be seeing that stuff. Now if we pop over to this screen, you can get a little animated view of the Necromancer. There she is again with her phylactery kind of floating in the distance there as she controls it, and that iconic one-handed scythe. So you can see she's coming along really nicely. Still got that rockstar vibe, that dark, I'm the SHIT. I just rule, I'm awesome. Here you'll see some animation for a few of the skills. This is one of the new curses called Leech. When you apply this curse on enemies, it makes it so that when you attack them, you heal yourself. So it's a nice one, and also has party implications because any enemies that have that curse, and even if your parties, if your characters and players in your party attack, they will also gain that life regen. Here you're seeing the Blood Golem on display, and I'll pause that one real quick. That makes it so that when you have just the skill passively, you have a Blood Golem that goes around, attacks, he has some AoE to his attacks, and then when you activate that skill, it actually makes it so that he deconstructs and then reconstructs wherever you were pointing on the map. And as he reconstructs, you can see his tendrils reach out, and he's pulling the blood and the guts and stuff from the enemies to reconstruct himself. It's doing some damage, and you also get a slight heal for your Necromancer as that happens. So it's a really cool skill, a new pet skill, and it's part of the Raise Golem skill. Blood Golem is a rune, so for those who are thinking that maybe we'd be able to have multiple golems, maybe unless there's a legendary power or a set that allows it to have all the runes, it looks like we'll only be able to have one golem at a time. So just something to keep in mind there. Next up on display, we got Grim Scythe in general. That's just letting you see that when you swing out that attack, you got Grim Scythe going for you, and a couple of things going here. So Grim Scythe is the generator. When you're low on essence, you can use that generator to swing. It has a very nice arc, as you can see to it. It refills a decent amount of essence for every enemy that's hit. So if you're actually surrounded by a decent amount of mobs, you can very quickly refill your essence. And then you saw, as she got low on health there, we did a skill called Devour. And now this skill has no cooldown, it has no resource cost, it just relies on corpses. So it's another corpse-driven skill where as long as there are corpses, you press that button and the Necromancer basically harvests those corpses to regen both life and also resource. So you can actually, if we back it up again, just because it happens so quickly, just take a look. You know, when you're using Blood Nova, like we mentioned, it takes some health and resource cost. So you're going low, you're going low, you're going low, looks like you might die, then you pop that Devour, and bang, it pulls in all that essence and life from all the enemies around you. And then here's just a beautiful display of Blood Nova. You can see it's using your resource costs, and it's using your resources in essence, and it's also using your life as a resource as well. And it has a really satisfying graphic to it, so it's very cool stuff. And then next up will just be a little bit of B-roll footage that they gave us to show off, and you can kind of see how this might work in conjunction in the real world. You know, throwing out some Blood Nova, got the Grim Scythe going, throw down a curse, and the curse actually lasts for a decent duration. I believe it was 30 seconds. You know, a lot of the numbers and things that were in the demo aren't final, so it kind of doesn't make sense to talk about them specifically, just because it probably will change by the time it actually gets released live. But you can kind of get a general sense for things. The demo itself was very easy, so it was kind of hard to exactly see how the interplay of using your life and then needing to regain your life would work, because you never really felt like your Necromancer was in danger per se. So I'd be interested to see kind of in like higher grade rifts or something, just how useful something like Devour will be, or the curses will be. Like everything also feels very like AoE oriented, so in density Necromancers feel like they're gonna absolutely dominate, but single target might leave a little bit more to be desired. We'll have to see if there are other skills that come along in the kit to help with instances like that. But pretty much the entire build focused around just using Blood Nova as your main spender, your main way to kill the enemies, and then all the other skills were kind of support for that. We also had Blood Rush Return, which is the movement skill for the Necromancer. It's a really strong one, and that was on display at the build in BlizzCon 2016. So for those who are familiar with previous Necromancer stuff, you saw it there. So that's nothing too new. But yeah, just pretty exciting stuff in terms of being able to see some new skills, some new Necromancer stuff going down. If you guys want more of this B-roll, I'm sure we'll be able to get more of it to you. But you get a gist of how it works pretty much. You go in, you Blood Nova all the things. When you get low on health, you Devour some stuff. You put the Leech curse on them. You can re-heal that way. And then you just got your Blood Golem rolling with you, attacking things. And if you need another heal, there's so many sources of heal. It seemed like they were very intent on keeping the players safe in this build. And maybe one last thing to note is that Nova also was just the base skill, and then Blood Nova was the rune that was on Nova. So there actually could be other Novas, like a Bone Nova or something, coming in the near future. So things to look out for. And also, I guess worth mentioning as well is that the skills were all physical based. So not yet seeing many elements in terms of the elemental diversity. And I think on the build in BlizzCon, I think those were all physical as well too. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see what the mix-up will be. We know like poison is kind of off limits, but who knows if they'll have like command of fire and things like that. Probably no holy, I would imagine. But yeah, pretty much wanted to give you guys the down and dirty deets info on everything that happened out there. There will be a written article to go along with this video to supplement this, because we had a lot more thoughts that were a lot easier to write down. But I just at least wanted to show you some of the artwork and things like that we were able to grab. So I hope you guys are really excited. I am. PTR, Necromancer will be on PTR at some point, hopefully in the near future. They were saying maybe it'll be a long PTR, so that's pretty exciting. They're very interested in hearing what we all have to say about it and get it in our hands and test it. So that's the latest Necromancer update. Get hype, and we'll be seeing more soon, hopefully. Until next time, friends, take care.